Chris Krok show. There's some of the sound as we struck empty buildings where nobody was because they had 6 days to flee. Nonetheless, Joe Biden put on a firebomb show that had no one hit to look like he's tough, and he thinks you're stupid and that you don't understand what that he's been telling our enemies to leave for 6 days so they could not get hurt. He does not want to hurt our enemies. And he, in fact, has been clear and was clear again tonight over and over and over again that he will not be hitting Iran or inside of it. Here we have from Jennifer Griffin, Fox News Tonight.
Officials who I spoke to said that they were ruling out striking inside Iran in this first set of strikes, and they want to message to Iran that they are not trying to go to war with Iran. They're hoping Iran gets the message based on these strikes against their proxies and against the IRGC sites. The strikes lasted, I'm told, 30 minutes. U.S. Central Command submitted the targeting list to the White House. In a statement, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said, quote, "This is the start of our response. The president has directed additional actions to hold the IRGC and affiliated militias accountable for their attacks on U.S. and coalition forces."
Okay, so what you saw tonight, I should say, in the airstrikes is, and they're showing on fake news CNN, the B-1 bomber Lancer that flew from here straight all the way over from the U.S. to bomb these locations in Syria and in Iraq. But what you're seeing is what they want you to see, and they want you to see flames, fire, bombs, and powerful, massive war machines and tools to make it look like we're doing something, but we're doing nothing. And in fact, this will embolden Iran to hit us again and hit us more, and to continue to hit us. And I'm telling you, they were within a few seconds of destroying our warship. This warship, the USS Antietam, was about to get hit when the Houthis yesterday fired a cruise missile, and our defense systems that were supposed to stop it did not. They failed. They all failed. And the only thing that worked was what's called a phalanx close-in weapon system, which is a Gatling gun system, literally the Gatling gun, like the one from, what was that, back in like World War I or something? I don't even know. Civil War? I don't even know. Yeah, the crank one from the Civil War is what I'm thinking about. As fast as you can, move you crank your hand until it gets tired. This one is advanced. It has a hamster on a wheel. And they rotate the hamsters every hour. So they're really fresh, and they give them really good carrots to keep them going. Okay, maybe not. They give them crack water to keep them going. I don't know. No, but we were seconds away from hitting our warship sunk yesterday. And that's how embarrassing this is. The Houthi missile was traveling at about 600 miles per hour. And according to former U.S. Navy captain and now analyst in CNN, they were 4 seconds away from getting hit. So they were 4 seconds away from sinking a major warship in the Red Sea yesterday. And for that, retaliation is we give them 6 days notice, and there's nothing. So this is where we're at, and I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, and I'm very angry. I'm embarrassed and ashamed as an American that we're allowing all this, and I'm angry that we are literally, and we are, I'm telling you, right now we're walking backwards into war because Joe Biden's afraid to do what he should have done 2-3 months ago to Iran, and that is striking with inside of the Iranian borders, particularly by taking out the leader of the IRCG/Quds forces, and also their training facilities that they train Hamas, Hezbollah al-Kateb al-Hezbollah, which is the one that's in Iraq, and also their surrogates in Syria and in Yemen. And so they're going to keep hitting us. This is not going to stop them. And we announced heavily that we're not striking within Iran's borders, including in the future. We have no plans to, and we're not going to. So I want to ask you some questions on this tonight. Would love to hear from you. Chime in now at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. And my questions for you are, do you think we actually should be hitting Iran inside of their borders in addition to all of its proxies? And by the way, did you really want us to give them a 6-day notice so they could flee? They literally fled. There's no one there where we struck, especially the Iranian, the RSCG members. They're all gone. And do you feel President Biden is allowing our troops to continue to be sitting ducks in the Middle East because he is? And do you think the Houthis and other Iranian proxies and even Iran are really afraid of us? I don't. I think none of them are afraid of us. That's why they went and tried to sink one of our warships just yesterday. This is embarrassing that third world cut-rate countries are putting us on the ropes, and that we're not just destroying them. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Greg in Little Elm, you're live on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Greg.
Hey, I got the 93.3 preset, so
good.
I'm good to go.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Everybody should make it a preset. 93.3 FM. We are now on FM. Yes.
Of course. Thanks for taking my call. And honestly, I can't believe my president, Joe Biden, is doing this crap and allowing the American soldiers to be sit-and duck targets and such like that. It's just insane. He's certainly not running the country. I think it's that fake little Irishman, Jake Sullivan, and Anthony Blinken, and maybe every now and then, whenever Lloyd
Austin, when he's not lying to us about being in the hospital and having no one in charge.
I think those three are possibly trying to run the country, and they'll pass some things by Biden every now and then, like, oh, hey, Joe, we're going to be bombing some fake targets. Oh, okay, guys, go get them. I'm going to go take a nap.
I think that Mr. Hussein Obama, former President Hussein Obama, is actually running a lot of things, and his people are, because they're all in. All of his people are running the show behind the scenes. Valerie Jarrett types, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are, and Jake Sullivan was one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just insane. It's ridiculous.
What do you want us to do? What are we not doing that we should be doing right now and today?
We should not be telegraphing what we're going to do.
Right, to our enemies. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, and we should take them out right off the get-go. It doesn't matter. Just blow them up, turn that sandbox into a sheet of glass. Yeah.
Well, at least our enemies should be brought to heel by painful attacks, and that's not happening at all. Instead, we're afraid of them. It's incredible. And when you don't beat the crap out of them, like in a strike or two, then you embolden them. They think you're weak, and they think that then this gives them permission to just go and go heavy, and they are. I appreciate your call tonight, Greg.
Yep, thanks.
And you're welcome, brother. And I think that the Iranians tonight know that this is a show, a fake show. Tara Dahl, former State Department official with Trump, and I talked tonight, and she says that she believes that the Biden administration did let Iran know where they're going to strike, and that they were going to strike and coordinated with them to make sure they don't get hit. I'm not kidding, and she's not kidding when she talked to me about that tonight. In fact, I'm going to tell you coming up next what Tehran warned us and Joe Biden that what would happen if we strike them. It's incredible. They are in the driver's seats. They are controlling this. That's coming up next on the Chris Krok Show at News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Coming up next.
They're not going to stop until we hit Iran itself. I don't want to invade Iran, but I want them to stop killing Americans. And the only way that will happen is if you hit their oil infrastructure, which they care about. That's where they get their money. Or start punishing some of their soldiers inside of Iran, the Revolutionary Guard.
All right, there's Lindsey Graham, and there's so much more on that. But we are feckless, we are afraid, and we are not hitting anyone tonight. We are hitting empty places because they had 6 days to leave. I'm embarrassed. I literally am embarrassed at our response because it's pathetic, it's stupid, and it's fake bold. It is not bold. And they want you and me, they must think we're stupid because anybody that knows what's going on knows that nobody was there. In fact, a few things. Tehran warned, this is from Daily Mail, Tehran warns Biden that if the U.S. strikes Iranian soil in retaliation for the death of 3 soldiers, the Islamist regime will hit back at American targets across the Middle East, sparking an all-out war between the foes. We're already going towards war because of what Joe Biden is not doing and because of what he is doing, which is walking backwards into it and is afraid to do what he needs to do to finish the job and end this. So the other thing is Iran. Never let anybody tell you that Iran isn't doing all this and that they're not the reason all this is happening. They're the only reason. None of these dirt herders in Syria, Ethiopia, or Iraq, none of them would be attacking us if it wasn't for Iran providing all the weapons to them, training them, and arming them, and paying them. The IRCG and the Quds Force, which is, those are the 2 people running all this. They were in Syria, they were in Iraq, and they are training and being in Yemen when needed be for the Houthis. And they all left 6 days ago, so they're not there. And that's who is attacking us. And in fact, that's who made the drone that killed us. It's not an American drone. Some folks Judge Janine was saying tonight on Fox on the 5, she was saying that she wanted to know if that was a U.S. drone that was taken from Afghanistan that was left behind. And that's a very good speculation because a lot of weaponry is being used against us that Joe Biden left behind, the billions of dollars of infrared, thousands and thousands of machine guns and rounds of ammo, thousands and thousands of heavy weaponry, vehicles, choppers, everything. But here's the story you needed to hear, that Iran manufactured the drone that killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan. It wasn't ours. A U.S. official confirmed to Fox that the digital drone that killed 3 American soldiers injured more than 40 others at Tower 22. You need to know that. 40 others were injured. 3 were killed, 40 were injured. While the attack was launched by an Iran-backed militia in Iraq, it ultimately holds Iran responsible. But here's the thing: Reuters reported the U.S. found Iran-made drone, the Iran-made drone itself that blew up. They put the pieces together. They figured it out. So this is absolutely who did the drone and who made the drone. It was made in Iran. Big fat made in Iran stamp on it. Whether they have it there or not, it's true. So why are we not attacking Iran tonight? Why did we not attack Iran 2 months ago, 3 months ago, for what they did to us and Hamas? This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. So do you think we're striking hard enough tonight? That we struck hard enough tonight? Do you think that we're displaying the power we need to display? Do you think we're hitting where we need to hit? Are we hitting who we need to hit, or is this all nothing compared to what they should be doing? And I believe it is nothing. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Want to hear from you right now. Chime in, 800-288-9227. This is absolutely the worst thing you could do is appeasement, walking him backwards into it, and not hitting him hard enough. I love some of these excuses. This from the Politico, which is a leftist rag online. The U.S. intelligence officials estimate Tehran does not have enough full control of its proxy groups. So, it's not their fault. We don't have enough. We don't have any proof. No, it's not them. We don't have it. No, it's not that. And then here's another thing from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. secretly alerted Iran ahead of the Islamic State terrorist attack. So the bomb that blew up, remember when Qasem Soleimani's death anniversary of 3 years? And remember how ISIS in the Khorasan, which is ISIS Afghanistan, ISIS-K struck and blew up a bomb inside of Iran. That killed, I think, 80 Iranians and wounded several hundred of them. We warned Iran that was going to happen. We warned them. We're telling them when they're going to get hit by other terrorists. Like terrorists from ISIS. We're helping them fight ISIS, and then what they do is they shoot and kill, and they've killed 3 of our soldiers. We're helping them to kill us. And we talked to that Middle East expert and terrorism expert, Walid Faris, in the 8 o'clock hour, and he agreed with me. Yes, we paid to kill the Jews, Hamas to kill the Jews. We financed that. We financed the drone that struck and killed our 3 troops. We financed the operations in Iraq, in Syria, because Joe Biden gave them $6 billion in oil money so far, and we are not going to, and we have not taken out their refineries. And if we did that, we would cripple them financially. And Joe doesn't want to hurt them. In fact, he warned them, and most likely, according to a former Trump State Department official that I talked to earlier today, off the air, she wasn't available tonight, but she said, Tara Dahl, she said that she strongly believes that Joe Biden and his team warned Iran we warned them we're going to strike and when we were going to strike so they can get out. And we knew they got out. And so this is all a fake show. It's a big waste of time. We're showing off the weaponry we have, but we're hitting nobody. All right. I want to hear from you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, we're going to talk more about this. I'm going to get you some more audio from the combat. And I have several other things that we're going to talk about with this on Iran and what we're not doing, what we are not doing that we should be doing, and more analysis of the strikes tonight of these empty buildings and going out of our way to not hit anybody. Coming up next, Chris Krok Show, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227.
They can get new bunkers. They can get new command and control centers. You have to hit Iran where it hurts. You shouldn't be telegraphing it 5 or 6 days in advance.
What do you think about the strikes tonight? Apparently 85 different targets and lots of bombs, and showing off our B-1 Lancer bombers that flew from America all the way over to Syria and Iran to blow up some stuff. But unfortunately, this we gave them 5 to 6 days, and we warned Iran ahead of time and through back channels, according to some U.S. officials that have used to work for the Trump administration. They believe that's what happened here. And so I think what we did tonight is a show of fireworks and bombs and special expensive toys on purpose, purposely not hitting any Iranian troops, guardsmen, Republican Guard, or Quds forces, because we don't want to hit them, because we're afraid to hit them. And it's not us, meaning you and me, it's Joe Biden. And it's really, you know what I would like to know? It's really embarrassing, the lack of hitting our enemies hard when we have a military that I think is 40 times the size of theirs, or something to that effect. And I'm embarrassed that we keep allowing them to punch us and punch us and punch us, including from these third world countries in Yemen and Iraq and Iran, Yemen, Iraq, and Syria, and they're all gone. And so, what you know what this really is to me tonight? It is a show. It's a show of bombs and heavy equipment and planes and technology to impress us. I literally think the strikes today, this afternoon, and into this evening, that Joe Biden ordered, I literally think the strikes are for you and me. I swear to you. I don't think they're for Iran. I do not think they're for the proxy forces. I literally, 100% with my heart, believe that all the bombings, all the audio, all the video we're seeing, all the news that makes us look like we're strong is all a show for you and me to get you to think Joe Biden's tough. But he's not. And you know it, and I know it. And in fact, this cowardly fecklessness is how you get into war. I was listening to a very compelling interview from Keith Kellogg, general, retired, who was with the Trump Pentagon. In fact, I might even find it and pull it up for you to play a little bit more of it. But he literally was saying that this is how wars, he was talking to the Five as well this afternoon, he was saying this is how wars happen. And he said, I can go all the way back. He named some wars I'd never even heard of, because these guys that are generals that are in the Pentagon, they have, at least the good ones, they know the history of every war ever done, every battle, you know what I mean? They study it, and they know what works and what doesn't, based on human nature, humanity, and the powerful entities like us versus people like Iran, and what stops them, and particularly in the Middle East versus Europe, etc. And he literally described what stops bad guys like Iran, okay, that are flanker enemies. They're not even they're not mainstream enemies. But our Middle East expert, as he said earlier tonight on the show, that Walid Faris said this, that once Iran gets a nuclear bomb, and they're very close. Fox was talking about this tonight. They're at 90% enrichment, and he says they're not going to get one of the nuclear missiles that can go intercontinental ballistic. They're going to have tactical nukes, and once they get those, they're going to say, even once they just get one, they're going to say, if you do anything to us, we're going to use our nuclear bomb. And at that point, he says everything. Actually, before they even say anything to anybody, the moment they get a nuclear bomb, he said everything changes, and it's not good. It's really bad, because they will use it. They will become on the same level as you mentioned, Pakistan, and as India. And what that means, once you're nuclear, everything changes. Like China, in the skirmishes they're having on the border there with India. In the mountains, what's it called? The Himalayas, or wherever it is there, where China and India come together. They've shot and killed their own troops there. 10 here, 20 there, 20 there. But the reason it doesn't get super heavy, you know why? Because they're both nuclear powers, and that literally means there's a certain amount they'll do, but at some point they're like, well, I can use a bomb, so what are you doing? Is that the Himalayas? Yeah, I was right. My geopolitical knowledge. But I want to hear from you if you think we're striking hard enough tonight, if you think this is going to prevent another attack, or if you think it's as I do, feckless, and literally that Joe Biden just displayed our power only for us, not for Iran, not for Iraq, the Iraqi militias, the Yemeni militias, and the Syrian militias, like Kateb al-Hezbollah. In Iraq, they're not. What this was tonight was a show for us. It was not for them. And Iran was warned, and they were given explicit directions that in 5-6 days, publicly, here's what we're attacking, and here's when we're going to do it. And then guess what else too? You know what is even more disgusting? Yesterday, if you recall, the headline. It said, where was it? Right here. White House waited for good weather to launch strikes on Iraq and Syria to avoid unnecessary casualties. They waited another 24 hours because the weather was not so hot. Do you honestly think we needed to wait a 6th day? I swear to you. I think there's another excuse. Another reason. I would guess they waited another day, not because of the weather. I would guess they waited another day because they found out from Iran or from its allies that they needed another day to get their stuff out. And I swear to you that I believe with all my heart that the reason we are doing everything we did today with bombing 85 locations was to show us that we're tough, you and me, even though we didn't do anything. I literally believe we did nothing tonight. And I'm telling you, like the fake news CNNs, the MSNBCs are going to play this off. It's all about getting Joe reelected now and making Orange Man look bad and making you and I look like, white supremacist January 6ers. And coming up at 10, we're going to talk about the border stuff. I have so much to say about that. They're literally using that tactic with the Take Back Our Border rally tomorrow. It's going on all over the country. But I believe tonight was just a show for us and that it didn't do anything to stop them. What do you think? 800-288-WBAP. Chime in right now. I want to hear from you right now. 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. Let's go to Robert in Plano. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Robert.
Hi, Chris. Well, I agree with what you're saying, but this is not a military calculation that Biden's making. It's a political calculation.
Yes.
He knows that if he bombs Iran's petroleum reserves, that the gas is going to spike to $5 a gallon in America, and he's going to lose. This is not about how do I protect America. It's about how do I protect my election.
Well, let me tell you this. Here's what I strongly believe. I strongly believe that he knows, well, his generals and everybody on his defense department knows that we should take out their refineries. But as you know, gasoline wouldn't be an issue if he, instead of shutting down and denying permits to drill and shutting down wide swaths of federal land to drill, if he was pro-energy like Trump, that it wouldn't even make one difference. All we're doing is feeding Iran to kill us, and in fact, that we fed them. We literally funded the slaughter of the Jews for Hamas, and I didn't just say that. Walid Faris agreed with me. Yeah, absolutely, every dime we've let them have, they've used to kill Jews and to kill us.
Absolutely, with very sophisticated weapons.
Yes. Did you? I don't know if you caught earlier, but one of our USS warships. All the defenses failed. Yesterday, the Houthis fired off a cruise missile at our warship, and they were 4 seconds away, according to fake news CNN, 4 seconds away from hitting and sinking our warship because all of our defenses failed, and the only thing that stopped us was an automatic Gatling gun system. Gatling guns, dude. A Gatling gun system that lit up the missile, and if that didn't hit it, within 4 seconds, it was moving at a couple hundred miles an hour, I think they said, and it literally was about to sink our battleship, one of our ships. So
Absolutely.
That's what happened yesterday. Do you think any of them are afraid of us based on what I'm telling you, based on how he's been acting, this president?
No, I think they're totally emboldened at this point. They know.
And do you not
think that?
Sorry.
I think there's obviously a China-Iran connection.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that China has the goods on Biden, too. So another thing he's worried about is what does China have that they would expose?
Well, literally, China, he has brought China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and all of them together. And they are sharing munitions, they're sharing intelligence, and they're backing each other, and they're backing Hamas up through Iran. And so it is, Joe has brought our enemies together, and he's made this strong axis of evil now. And he also is leading us into war because we're walking backwards into it by his cowardice. And Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg was saying earlier on Fox that here's some examples of what we should have done. He said that the North came in and burned Atlanta to the ground, for example, and that set the tone, that established who was in charge, and it devastated their enemies. And that's what we should have done 3 months ago, and that's what we should be doing right now, and we're not. And that's what we should. That's literally how you stop it. So, and I've thought that since day one. He said it, and so did Walid Faris, an Iranian and terrorism and Middle East expert. So there you go. He advised Trump. He advised Mittens Romney in his campaign, etc. I got to roll, Robert, but I really appreciate your great call tonight.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir. We're going to talk to Nakona in a minute. Coming up next on the Chris Krok Show. You stand by, Nakona. Plus, I want to hear from you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Do you think we're hitting hard enough? Do you think we're being feckless? Do you think Joe Biden did a light show for us today? He literally did. I swear to you, all the bombing was for us. It was a show for us. It was a political show. He did not do anything to our enemies. I want to hear from you, your thoughts on that. 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. Chris Krok Show. Coming up next, much more with Nakona, one of our callers from Cedar Park, and yours next.
We have confirmation now from the U.S. Central Command that some 85 locations were hit by 125 U.S. munitions. 85 targets were hit at 7 different locations, 3 of them inside of Iraq, 4 of them inside of Syria. An Iraqi military spokesman, despite a claim from John Kirby that the Iraqi government was informed, an Iraqi military spokesman says that the U.S. has now violated the sovereignty of Iraq and threatens to pull the region down into further chaos.
Well, the big show, but nothing really done. And I unequivocally believe the strikes in Iran tonight, and not in Iran, that's where they should be, but the strikes against Iran's proxies tonight, giving them 6 days to leave. They hit nobody. I don't think anybody's going to die in these, I swear to you. It's my humble opinion. And I think that all this show tonight was for us. It was a political show. It was not a tactical show to actually eliminate the threat and eliminate our enemies. I'm embarrassed tonight. I really am. I wish we did what we should do, what a Trump would do, what a President Trump would do, or a President DeSantis would do. Trump is the master at it. So I pray he gets the election in November so we can get our country back and get the world back in order the right way. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you actually think that we should be hitting Iran, as I do, in addition to all these proxies? And do you feel President Biden is allowing our troops to continue to be sitting ducks in the Middle East, as I do? And do you think the Houthis and other Iranian proxies and even Iran are really afraid of us? I don't, in any way, including after tonight's show, that was a show for us. Might as well have been a fireworks show. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Nakona in Cedar Park, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Hello.
Chris, how are you, Chris? Good to talk to you again.
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was just thinking as I was waiting, we probably knocked down a good 25, 30 chicken pens and probably killed about 15 chickens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nothing more than a dog and pony show. I spent a lot of time out there when I'm retired Navy, and I tell you what,
thank you for your service.
Oh, thanks. I'd do it all over again, just not under this president.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's just a big dog and pony show. I'm sure, they took munitions out, if there were some buildings that got hit, all the high dollar items that they needed, I'm sure they took stuff out. And so,
yeah, they had 6 days.
We hit nothing. Yeah. What an embarrassment. That's all I got to say.
I agree, Nakona, and I'll ask you a question. Did you work with any U.S. warships while you were in the Navy?
I did. Actually, I was EOD, explosive ordnance, and underwater demolition.
Oh, dude, let me ask you a few questions you may know about. Have you heard of the Phalanx CIWS?
It's called a closed-in weapon system.
Oh, dude, you're the man. Okay. That's like a Gatling gun operation, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, dude, you have to talk to me about this because are we going to talk to Brad coming up next on the no? Okay, we don't know. Here's what I want to do though. Can you hold, because I want to talk to you about this if it's okay with you. I know because this is literally how we almost got a warship sunk, and I want to give you details on the story and see your thoughts on this. Do you mind holding?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you. This is incredible. He knows about this. When I say that, it's like I was expecting to go, I'm not sure. I was in the Navy, but I don't know. He knows it! All right, Stan, he knew exactly what I was talking about. This is great, because that's the last thing that saved us. We were 4 seconds away from being blown up yesterday by the proxies of Iran. They ain't afraid! All right, stand by. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Nakona on that, former Navy guy, and your call, 800-288-WBAP.